Good evening. Welcome. We are at the administration building. It's Tuesday, February 10th. This is the Board of School Trustees, Fayette County. If everyone can stand, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tonight we will start with a presentation from Ms. Morgan.
Hello. Frazee is here to present our STEM club. It is led by our 5th grade teacher, Laura Griffin, and our 1st grade teacher, Amber Burgess. I'll let them come up and present.
Hello.
Good evening.
We are here to present about the Frazee STEM Club. And we have 3rd grader, Faith Becker, and we have 6th grader, Mason Sterling with us. And they're going to do a little bit of telling you about what we've been doing with our STEM Club. This is our 2nd year that we've had the STEM Club going at Frazee. We have several students who are grades 3 through 6, and we meet after school, and we just work on a lot of things that are STEM related. So, I don't know how.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about that?
So some goals that we have for our kids as they're coming to STEM Club is that the first thing that we want them to work on is teamwork, because that's something they're going to need for the rest of their life. And so we talk a lot about how STEM is something that you're gonna need a team for. You're always working with a partner, and how can you challenge your way through the hard tasks that we do while still being respectful, being kind, making sure that you are trying to work with your team instead of like shutting down and feeling discouraged. That then leads into the perseverance. We told the kids right from the start, building things like robots and engineering projects are really difficult, and so that's something that we have definitely run into, and that I think Mason is planning to talk about, is just as we are figuring out that coding and problem solving. And then the last thing is just exposure to STEM topics, especially with like the push right now to really get like girls specifically interested in STEM, and what does that look like, and is this something that you might want to consider in your future?
And we do. I think we've done a pretty nice job of getting an even balance of the girls wanting to come in. I actually had a lot of girls who came to me and said they wanted to be part of it. And then, and we've had a few that have pulled back because they've taken on winter sports and things like that. But overall, I'm impressed with the number of kids who are interested. And even they were asking me at the very beginning of the year, are you going to do this again? Yep, I'm going to do it. Give me some time. So yeah, that was... It's fun to see that they're excited about doing something like this.
That's it.
I did the wrong thing. I shouldn't be allowed to touch technology.
You're not the only one. We've had many people.
In your defense, that mouse is very
Yeah, it's very
like
sensitive.
And it's not a happy mouse.
It's not a happy mouse.
It's not a happy mouse.
Some of the things that we've covered so far are we start every meeting with some sort of math problem just to get them thinking. It is really cool to see their thought process.
It is so fun.
We do a lot of team building, exploring. They have to communicate with each other, work on problem solving, and then, of course, engineering and coding, which I think is something that these two are going to talk a little bit more about. So, do you want to talk through some of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just going to click through the pictures and talk.
Go ahead, Mason.
Like through these pictures?
You get to talk about what you wanted to this morning. So
Oh.
you wanted to talk about your coding experience and your elementary kid. Got it.
For our coding, it's a lot of process because the process of building it, you can't just go right to it and just work a robot. It takes time, and the building part's probably the most time, and then learning how to like function it and make it move. is another part, and there's a lot of pieces to it, and a lot to it.
We're in the process of finding all of our pieces, and our team has split into 2 smaller teams, and we're trying to build 2 different, with the Lego company, we're trying to build 2 different models of their EV3 robot. And so that has been, they're figuring out, they're like, does the color matter or the size of the piece? And so it's been really interesting to hear them like problem solve, well, what is more important? And so it's a lot of piece finding right now.
And it's really fun to watch them communicate with each other and work on that team building and see how they are now talking to one another instead of over one another. And then we also have the science experiments.
Last year we did elephant toothpaste, and we used a water bottle, and then we put water and 2 to 3 drops of soap, and then yeast. We use yeast, and there's another one.
Peroxide.
Yeah, peroxide. And the soap would just make it bubbly. That way it didn't just come out like a volcano. And yeast would help like start the whole reaction. And peroxide would also help it.
That's cool.
They like the fun, unique science experiments that we do. The messier, the better. They're kids. And then Faith, you want to talk about what you've been learning? Because she's her first year in. He's in his second year of STEM. She's in her first year of STEM. So.
On code.org, we've been learning how to code. Me and my best friend Jordan had no experience before, but now we can code games and animals. It is so fun. Engineering problem solving. Figuring out how to balance a skier made of foil. It was very fun.
You want to tell them a little bit about what we did
So,
for the foil, for the skier?
So when we were building it, we made a little skeleton out of this little pipe cleaners, and then we wrapped the foil around it. Then we made little skis out of popsicle sticks.
Nice. You have a picture of that somewhere?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's coming up in just, I think it's the next one.
Was that a picture of all the pieces?
Yeah. Those are the EV3
Those are
pieces, yeah.
Oh my.
I'm out.
Oh, this, yeah. So they got aluminum foil. And they had to build their skier, and then they put like this foil around it. It's because the Olympics have started,
Right.
and so this next meeting they're going to race their skiers to see who has the fastest one.
We're gonna need a video of
Yeah.
that. Can you send us a video? We wanna see that.
So this is them building their skier, and then this is so that's Faith with her skier right there.
Yeah. Awesome.
Is he gonna win a gold medal, Kit? Okay.
Absolutely.
So it's so much fun, and I like to hear the joy that comes out of the room, as they're working, and when they figure something out and they have that aha moment. It's
With having so many different grade levels in the same room, it's also been really cool with our math problem of the day. We've been doing a lot of like which one doesn't belong, to really have them think about what is the math that you're seeing in front of you. And it's this last time that we were doing it was so fun to the kids. We hadn't done a fraction problem this past week, but in previous we had. And they instantly started thinking, okay, well, like what could this be as a fraction? And then we had all the way down to 3rd grade they're just introducing those and making equivalencies. And Faith had a really awesome connection with, well, this one, it wouldn't have a denominator and it was a really cool connection. The 5th graders got to say, oh, we know that all whole numbers actually have a denominator of 1. And so they're hearing all of these concepts, the youngers, that they're going to then use later in their schooling. And the older kids get to like remember that information, fingers crossed, and tell the youngers. And it's been really cool to see how they're connecting across grade levels.
and the mentorship of the older students with the younger students is
So has it just been going for 2 years?
yeah. Well, I don't know if they had it previous to me coming
Okay.
to
Okay.
Frazee, but I've been there, this is my 5th year at Frazee, and we didn't have it prior to that, from when I started there,
Okay,
so.
yeah.
Ma'am, could you go back to the original slide that you had up there, the first ones, is that?
The first one?
Yeah, it was the first double slide, or two
The
pictures
pictures?
was in the slide. A little bit far.
Possibly?
Keep going.
Keep going, keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah, keep going.
That one?
A little bit more.
It's looking
Warmer, you're getting warmer.
There's a specific.
Okay,
Oh,
that one.
hang on.
Oh, you went past it, ma'am.
I should have gone around the
Okay.
house.
I'm looking at the picture on the left. Is that a child's leg that's sticking out there? Is that child alive? See the leg? All I see is one leg.
Oh, I do
I'm
now.
kind of concerned. Is that attached to someone? Or-
Yes.
Okay, all right, that's one thing I'll ask.
The girl in black's got her
Yeah.
like kicked behind her.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
That's called you.
It belongs to the student that's wearing the black, like they've just got their leg behind them.
Yeah, why do you do that?
I apologize.
No stray legs in this.
No, straight legs.
No. We keep the limbs attached. We don't take apart Legos.
All right.
That's good.
And we do want to say thank you to Eastview, because Eastview did donate their VEX robots over to us to be able to use, so that we can further the engineering and further that robotics piece. It's been great having Laura there because she has the background for the robotics that I was looking for. And so it's been wonderful to work with her.
So Mason, you've done this 2 years. Do you love it?
Yes.
Okay. Does it make you, like, is that something you want to do when you're an adult?
Probably.
Okay. You like it, that's cool.
Do you have any other questions for us?
This is how kids learn. The old one-room schoolhouse isn't that far afield, because in a one-room schoolhouse, one teacher had multiple classroom levels and the kids learned from one another. And frankly, it's been my experience that they learn probably better from one another than they do from an old adult that's trying to tell them something to do. But this collaborative work is just fantastic.
Well, and it sparks one, so if an older student says something, it'll spark,
Yeah.
one of our younger students to be like, oh, we just learned this in class, or we just learned, and it's fun. And me being a first grade teacher, I don't get to have that exposure that, to that more advanced math. We're working on addition and subtraction, down in our world. And so it's fun to hear them bounce off of one another. I like my little world down there, but it's fun to work with the older ones too.
And hopefully some of that will actually stick. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank
you.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it. Good job, guys.
Awesome, really good job.
Good job.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
How is everybody?
Doing well.
We'll get in place here. God's job, right, please? That's perfect, right there. Let them get set up. We did some like out of the box thinking kind of stuff too.
That's better.
Are we ready? This mouse has me nervous. All right. Well, good evening, everyone. So tonight, Everton Elementary has brought to you one of our enrichment opportunities as well. It's our chess club. And Mr. Rob Malloy, one of our 6th grade teachers, is our chess club sponsor. And
I have to admit, I have zero knowledge about chess. I've learned a little bit in working with these students to help get ready for this. But I have found out that it's much more than just a game. So it's helped our students just not only just think and problem solve, but just some of those same things that they talked about at Frazee, the STEM Club, on how to work together. So we'll go through and talk a little bit more about some of these things. So why do we have chess club? We obviously think about like cognitive development. You know, we're always trying to get the kids to think and problem solve, and it helps with that. Their concentration and focus. We know that sometimes you guys might not have the longest attention spans, right? You slide on TikTok a little bit, right? It's real fast. But this is something that they can really concentrate and focus on and build some of that stamina with them. Decision-making skills, so learning how to think ahead and look ahead. Their confidence and resilience, like, you know, it's something new. Have any of you had any experience with chess before you started? Yes, no? No? All right, so they have to learn some things. Social interaction, again, grades 4 through 6 get to do this, so we have multi-level students doing it too, including everybody, and then it's just fun. Like they're just having a good time. So we always like to have a reason to come to school. And so, Mr. Malloy, do you have a little thing you want to tell them what your thought was in starting chess club? He initially told me it's just chess, and I was like, that's a lot more than chess.
Well, yeah, like we could talk about how it's analogous to life and you should think before you act and all of these things, but really guys, it's just a lot of fun. Chess is awesome. Just in the first 3 moves, after the first 3 moves, there's more than 1 million variations on the board, so you'll never get bored. It only takes a couple of sessions to learn the mechanics of the game, but you will learn this game forever. It takes a lifetime to master, and not everybody gets to. And there's always somebody at your level in the meantime. The barrier to entry is really low. It only costs a couple of bucks for a board. You don't need an expensive gaming system, and wherever you go in the world, everybody plays the same. So it's just a good game.
That's great. Well, we're going to let our kiddos take over.
What is chess club? Learn the rules and strategies of chess.
Practice sportsmanship and respectful competition.
Develop critical thinking and perseverance, which is never giving up.
How does chess club work? Any student in grade 4 to 6 could participate. All levels of players were welcome.
We met once a week and practiced our skills with other students.
Students with beginning skills learn basic strategy and piece movement. Those with more advanced skills worked on tactics, planning, and game analysis.
What is the purpose of chess club?
The emphasis was to place on learning the game, not just winning. We were encouraged by Mr. Malloy to focus on understanding the strategies, rules, and teamwork rather than the final score.
This approach helped to teach us about patience, persistence, and learning from mistakes.
We also learn how to think ahead and plan. This helps us learn to be problem solvers as we focus on the game.
Since everyone had different levels of playing abilities, we also learned how to respect others and be helpful.
What students say about chess club?
If you'll watch the screen here, I interviewed some of our chess club students, and so they wanted to share what they learned from chess club.
Now you can do
Oh, you did have a part, didn't you? I wrote practice. Go ahead.
Now you can hear directly from other students about what chess club means to them in a short video.
You can take on the game by reading things. If it's going to take it out, it will make it take it out. We might get you, but it might not. I love gathering my bodies. I'm shedding my chest. I love to work with my friends and have a play chess together. I like making my chess skills. Okay. I like to encourage my friends while playing chess. Sometimes you'll win and sometimes you'll lose. I like how to learn every move repeated to safety in your related. Learning things like chess and it can build calm. I like participating in competitions with my friends.
All right, that's where I learned some things too. Some of them were explaining some things to me and I said, I need that to be a little bit shorter for the video, we don't have that long. So go tell Mr. Malloy that and tell Mrs. Cook said just to condense that a little bit. So I appreciated hearing from those students. So, and then our final thing is we have some students and they're gonna do a little demonstration for you here, maybe. There it goes. All right, so I think now we're turning it over to, we turn it over to you, Colton?
Yep.
All right, show us what you got.
Hello, my name is Colton Peterson. Today I'm going to explain Scholar's Mate in chess. The goal of chess is to put your opponent's king into checkmate, which means the king cannot escape. Scholar's Mate is a very fast checkmate that can happen in only 4 moves. It uses the queen and bishop working together. First, the bishop moves out, and then the queen, and then the queen moves out to this square. If he makes like a random move right there, oh, the king is checkmate, he can no longer move. If you try to take it, you can't do anything else. Scholar's Mate teaches us why it is important to protect your king early and pay attention to your opponent's move. Thank you for listening.
Very good job.
Good job. What grade are you in, Colton?
5th.
Fifth grade. Great fluency.
Are you going to tell a little bit about some of the pieces? Is that right? No? So then I think you two are going to do a little demonstration. They were playing at recess today, right? They were all about it. So they were going to talk about what things. You want to go up there and show them some of your things?
So rather than play a whole game, they'll just kind of explain opening principles real quick to get you set up, so.
Okay.
So the first step you really want to do is first to claim the middle.
What are those pieces called that you're moving?
Pawns.
Pawns. Thank you.
Second step, you have to move the minor pieces out.
What is that?
What is the minor piece?
Is that the bishop?
It's a knight.
The knight, okay, thank you.
Bishop and a knight.
And then lastly, you want to protect your king by castling.
So
And if
the
you do this, you
object
set
is-
yourself up for a pretty decent game.
The object is to knock out the king, right?
No, you
get
put
it
your
cornered.
king.
So
You put the
So they
opponent's king
can't, so they
in
can corner them so they can't move.
Exactly.
Cool.
That's a little bit, and I did it. Their castling
Good job.
kept coming up.
I'm with you.
Didn't even, I mean, I knew a few of the terms, but not a lot of those, so, great job, guys. All right, and then, so, you know, we have to put some data in, and Mrs. Corsaro is gonna be here, so I did just wanna point out, I dug a little deeper into some of the things, and so just, I'm not gonna explain all of that, but just looking at the kids that, we did have 20 students that participated, so you kind of take them out and you look at kind of where they were and then how that connects to some of their math and language checkpoint. I think it, you know, it comes into play with both things. I think that teaches them some critical thinking, which is important when they're reading and writing, and then also those math problem solving skills too. So that's Mrs. Corsaro's slide. That was just my slide. So, you know.
I love that.
So we really hope that you see how Chess Club has helped our students to build confidence. I know I'm really proud of them for all stepping up here. It's hard to talk in a room full of adults, and so with that, but then also just confidence in what they can do, their character as well, and being respectful of everybody else that they were playing with, their thinking skills that extend way beyond the chessboard. So thank you to Mr. Malloy also for volunteering. We always appreciate teachers that go above and beyond and provide those kind of opportunities for students. And he just said, I did chess club last year, can I do it again? And that's great, sounds perfect. So that was, I really appreciated that. having that opportunity for our students. So I think that's all we have. Do you have, if it's questions about chess, it's to them. Do you have questions for chess?
You want to introduce yourself?
Oh, yes, I mentioned.
I know that's cool.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Lillian Hubbard.
Blaze Mays.
They're sixth graders.
Autumn Burgess,
And what grade are you in?
4th.
Fourth grade. And you already introduced yourself, but you can say it again.
My name's Colton Peterson and I am in 5th grade.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank
Very well
you.
done.
You guys did a great job.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I may have to come by, what day do you guys
I
meet?
know.
I need to learn.
Well,
I need
we
to polish up.
wrapped up for this year, so the idea is to get them to fall in love with it and then get their parents to buy them a board for Christmas. So
There you go.
it's kind of a way to do it.
Can you beat people in your family? Can you beat your aunt?
I don't know.
She doesn't play with her dad. She
Oh,
can beat her
okay.
dad though.
She can beat her
She can
dad?
beat her dad.
I beat my brother.
Okay.
Well, we're
Thank
gonna
you guys,
learn
great
that.
job.
I know, right? I'll go with
Thank you, Mr. Boyd.
that was great, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Linda Fitzgerald with Fayette County, or Healthy Fayette County Blue Zone.
Well, I don't play chess, but this is wonderful. Anyway, I want to introduce Amanda Wolf, who is president of Healthy Fayette County's Board of Directors. Healthy Fayette County really got going in September of last year. And what we're working on is bringing in the Blue Zones organization. How many of you, I know that Leslie is acquainted with Blue Zones because she read the newspaper articles. How many of you are acquainted with the Blue Zones piece? Well, you received some information. Basically, what we're looking for are letters of support. We have them from Reed, from the Fayette County Council, from our District 55 representative, Leslie Patterson, and from the mayor. So these letters of support will go with us as we raise the funds to bring in the Blue Zones organization for phase 1. Blue Zones is basically a small p and a small z, are 5 areas of the planet where people tend to live the longest and are the healthiest. And Dan Buettner, who is a National Geographic researcher, discovered these areas on the planet and went and spent a lot of time studying them. And he brought back 9 aspects that were across the board with each community that he spent time with. One of them is in the United States, in Loma Linda, California. It's a Seventh-day Adventist community, and of course they follow the Old Testament dietary rules, so they're pretty healthy folks. And Blue Zones, he brought those back to the United States, and in the early 2000s started the Blue Zones organization with a capital B and a capital Z. And they have a tremendous track record of helping communities turn around their poor health rankings, but also improving working together, collaboration, and economic vitality. So what we're looking for is a letter of support for the phase 1 model of Blue Zones. Phase 1 is an assessment. It's an 8 to 9 month process. They will come in, they will gather data, they will talk to everybody they possibly can, and at the end of that time period, they will tell us if we are ready to go to phase 2 and 3, and they will present us with a transformation plan. So it's the critical first step. If you know, and you know about building buildings because you build school buildings, and the first thing you do is a feasibility study. This is our feasibility study. And to get the community working together, helping people understand the connection between health and wellness and economic vitality. I was at a meeting that Brad Coulter hosted several months ago, and all of the EDG people who were there, as we were having conversations, said health is one of the number one things because people want to come to communities where they can live, work, and play in a healthy environment. So what we're asking for is for the Fayette County School Board to agree to give us, Healthy Fayette County, a letter of support initially for the blue zones. I don't want to take up much time. I promised Jeremy I'd do 5 minutes. Are you counting?
I'm not. I think we're about 4 minutes in now. So.
I just want to let you know about the Rural Health Transformation Plan. The money was released from the feds the end of December. Every state in the country gets a chunk of change. Indiana gets $207 million each year for the next 5 years. So it's over $1 billion. Governor Braun has committed $600 million of that towards rural health. It's the money is going to be given to regions. We are in Region 4. There are 8 counties in that region. We can present our plan, and we'll present Phase 2 and Phase 3 because that's the bigger dollars, with the hopes that it will be funded out of that amount of money. We knew about this was coming in October because Margaret Brown, who is the vice president with Blue Zones, was here in October and told us to watch for him. So anyway, that's our pitch, right, Mindy?
What I want to say is, these letters also show collaboration. That's my big part of this. It just shows that if we can have the support of everyone, we can all work together, because that's what it's going to take. It's a big step. We've done the research, and it's not going to, one small board, we can't do it all. So having everyone help us would be huge thank you.
Thank you.
Can you get the funding from the state for this? Feasibility studies, as we've learned from what we've done, are not inexpensive things. Are you going to have those funds available to do a good feasibility study from the sources in the state?
There are 2 significant grant opportunities now that we are working on.
Okay.
And then the rural funds, we want to go in for the bigger dollars for that, because it's a bigger chunk of money that we can access. So if we go in and ask for $6 million to complete, one of the things we're looking at is when Fayette County, notice our confidence, when Fayette County is a Blue Zone certified community, it will be the first one in Indiana. So we're kind of up. Bloomington's been talking about it for 5 or 6 years. We're not just talking about it, we're moving to get something done, because our health rankings are terrible. We have over a number of years been 90 and 91 in health factors and health outcomes. And the state is 38th out of 50. So as Hoosiers, we're not. And people in our community tend to live 5+ years less than other people in the state of Indiana. So and all of those numbers are from Robert Wood Johnson's county rankings that they have done every year. And so one of the grant opportunities is Robert Wood Johnson Foundation.
Because this is a quantum shift from where we are to from where we would like to be. But, that's going to be a big, if we can even accomplish part of it, it would sound like to be a really good thing for people, just to change some of the attitudes and the like towards healthcare and towards wellness, and a tough road to hoe. But if there's people that back it out there, maybe we've got a shot at it. It's worth a try. It is.
Yeah, and people have worked at it, but One of the barriers or one of the challenges we have is collaboration and overcoming a sense of apathy. There's just a lot of lack of motivation and ever since we lost major industries. So that's going to be something that, and Blue Zones is aware of that. So they know that's one of the areas that they need to work on. We're really impressed with them. So let us know, please.
Yeah, thank you, Linda.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it. And just so the board knows, I do write letters of support for area organizations, for grant support all the time. It's a normal thing that happens. I don't think it requires your official approval.
Right,
board
right.
action.
I think that's.
But I'm happy to write that letter on
Yeah.
behalf if you want me to do
Thank
so.
you for your time.
Yes, thank you.
We're going to exit.
Thank you so much.
My husband was elementary principal at Frazee, so it's nice to see Frazee.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys.
Agenda approval. May we have a motion to approve the agenda? Do I have a second? Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Public comments. There are none. Approval of the minutes from the meeting January 13th. We have a personnel report, recommendations for employment, background retirements, resignation, leaves of absence, approval of the January 2026 claims, 72749 to 72965, and the annual list of outstanding checks more than 2 years old. May I have a motion to approve? May I have a second?
I'll second.
Do we have a discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Action items. Approval of the CMS 2026-2027 Washington DC field trip.
Yeah, so I sent you some information. I know we had Dustin ask some additional questions, which is great. So I did send you some additional information as far as what that trip looks like, an itinerary and such. Some of the details, I think I responded with this, some of the details we won't know yet until we get closer. Once we commit, then they start talking about what hotels are available, what busing companies are available to do that, those types of things. We can bring you back some more information later. This just gives them the approval to move forward with the trip and start that planning.
They need to do that for fundraising, because it's
Correct.
not an inexpensive trip. And this will be over fall break, and you need to start before spring break to get some monies together, because it's really, really a good trip, no matter which tour group they use, either Scholastica or World Strides, but it is expensive and it does take a lot of pre-planning. I've chaperoned it a number of times myself. It is a great trip, but you better have all your ducks in a row before you get on the bus, or it can get ugly pretty fast.
Yeah, for sure.
Jeremy,
Yeah.
you had sent us an email about possible calendar change. Is this impacting that? Is it
Yeah,
going to be
so-
for fall of '26 or fall of?
So the calendar we're working on right now is 27, 28.
Okay,
26,
okay.
27 isn't done.
Okay,
If that
okay.
26, 27 calendar changes, it would be slight. And it would
Okay.
just be because maybe we apply for a 10-3 waiver, which is still something we're considering, to give us some additional professional development days. It's not going to change the
It's
rates.
separate from the notion of the area schools. Remember you sent that email about
Yeah,
wanting
that
to
conversation
change?
is about that 27, 28
Okay,
calendar.
great. Thank you.
Not our current school year.
Okay, thank you.
We're set, this would be for a year from now that we would, because we set our calendars for 2 years.
We do. So 26, 27 you set last year.
Yeah.
I'll bring you 27, 28 here in the
Okay.
month of March.
Okay.
So, yeah, the email I sent was in regard to 27, 28.
Thank you.
Yeah.
May I have a motion to approve the CMS 2020-2027 Washington DC field trip?
I so move.
May I have a second?
I will make a second.
Do we have a discussion?
Great trip.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the Hall of Fame selection.
Yeah, thank you. On behalf of the Education Hall of Fame Selection Committee, I'm honored to recommend the following individuals to be added to the illustrious list of Hall of Fame members, and that would be Mr. Richard Stanley and Mr. Robert Swope, excuse me. I included nomination forms in there as well, but I have met Mr. Stanley. I don't know if I've met Mr. Swope. Didn't have a chance to work with either, but it sounds like they are well deserving of the honor. So
They are. And Bob Swope will be just overcome. He will be just over the moon with this. He spent the last 2 weekends helping the band kids get ready for the solo ensemble contest, and at Church Sunday, he was so proud of his kids. He says, this is what my kids did. And he goes into the high school and works with these kids. Ashley that wrote one of the letters, and Levi, but he's taught music to kids in Fayette County for over 50 years, and that's just his passion, what he loves to do, and to have him recognized, I just thought was well past due.
May I have a motion to approve the Hall of Fame selection?
Madam President, I so move.
May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the resolution to approve gift card program for 2026 Wellness Challenge.
So for your consideration is a resolution to approve those gift cards. If you remember, we passed a board policy. That board policy is at the recommendation of the State Board of Accounts, because gift cards can sometimes be used to circumvent processes. And so we bring before you those gift cards whenever we buy them with school funds to use for our purposes. Wellness is one place we've used them in the past, and so our Wellness Committee has asked that we bring this before you. You have a list of how that's going to be used and appropriated, and then, of course, the resolution before you as well for consideration. So my recommendation to approve that resolution as presented.
May we have a motion to approve the gift card program for the 2026 Wellness Challenge? May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the school board policies, the second reading and approval for the updated policies.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I read before you second reading of policy C500, school trips and privately sponsored activities involving corporation employees and students. D400, FMLA. D450, resignation. G375, use of school facilities. G400, Title I comparability policy. And H125, corporation support organizations. And H150, public records. I brought those before you with more detail, obviously, than last month, and then, of course, you've had a chance to see those every week in Friday letters as well. If there are any questions about those, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, I would recommend approving those as presented.
May I have a motion to approve the school board policies?
I so move.
May I have a second?
A second?
Any discussion?
We tweaked some of them. We tweaked the language, particularly in the resignation retirement one, to allow much more flexibility as far as that. If there was a fundamental change in circumstance and somebody couldn't retire, we gave that authority to Jeremy to make that kind of decision. I think that's very, very important.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of grace in that. People's circumstances change.
People's circumstances change, and there's nothing they can do, and we don't want to lose valued employees, particularly if their circumstances change, and they could stay around another year or so.
May I have a motion, or all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to discussion, the first reading of the school board policy.
Yeah, so H175, I put before you several times. You've seen the policy. Policy just outlines our processes in our buildings when we would have law enforcement come into the buildings and question students or need to question students for potential issues that happen that are legal situations. Also some DCS stuff in there as far as DCS questioning. But again, I've laid that out for you. You've had it for quite some time. This is the first reading of the policy. We'll bring it back to you the month of March for a second reading. So any questions about that at all? Again, just for discussion today. So.
I want to thank Chris for his input on that, particularly when it comes to some of the governmental things. It was really nice to have law enforcement coming in and saying, we should look at this, we shouldn't look at this, this is how we protect our kids. He's done that for years, but just having that expertise and looking at it with a different set of eyes, I thought was incredibly helpful. Thank you for your your comments on that, because we want to protect our kids. And sometimes people in power don't understand that children are treated differently than adults. So we have to be extra careful with them.
Thanks, Chris.
Moving on to public comments. Persons wishing to make the board aware of suggestions, ideas, and/or comments may address the board at this time. Comments which involve personnel or students must be discussed in private. Okay. ISBA.
This last month, we had the coffee chat, and a few of us were able to be there. I thought it was really nice. Didn't have a ton of people, but we had some good exchange of information. And there will be another one in August, and I can't remember what the date is, but approximately the same time, like third week or something like that. When it gets closer, obviously, I'll let you know. Jeremy has reached out to the board about this new tool called Super Eval. And he is arranging, I think, something for us to learn more about it. But ISBA, in the meantime, is having some webinars also to introduce people to it. So I've signed up for the one. It is next week on Thursday. What is that, the 19th? It's a webinar, and it's at lunch, which is kind of convenient. I've done a lot of their lunchtime webinars. So it'll be under an hour, and it'll just introduce everybody to Super Eval, and I think that'll be good for all of us.
Yeah, I've had the chance to meet with them, and I think it was a good program, good process for you as a board to be able to provide me with feedback, for me to be able to track my goals towards our progress, for those goals to align with our strategic planning goals once we have those in place. I really think it's going to be a good thing for us, and we have a discounted rate right now through ISBA, which is nice as well.
And I think that just for the public to know, our two main jobs are hiring and evaluating the superintendent and establishing policies. So those are direct board work besides approving things that we do in a meeting. So I want to take the evaluation very seriously. We have used a lot of tools, and I think Ann can attest, because she's been on the board, and Chris for a long time, that every single time we say, we don't know this, why would we, this isn't something we can evaluate. And so we really need a tool that's geared exactly towards what Jeremy's doing on his day-to-day. Just more ISBA workshops coming up, the State House Day, I'm going to that. That is just where you get a chance to hear legislators talk about what's happening in the legislature. And then we have COSBA next month. A few of us are going, March 12th, so look forward to that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Leslie.
Principals, directors report.
Just in case any of you guys would get a phone call Monday, Grandview School will be part of a brownout from 5 to 7. So they will be in that zone, so if you get a phone call, that's what it is.
What's that for?
Duke just called, they have to do it every so often. And
Okay.
that's the area they're doing next, so.
Okay.
Kind of testing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wonderful. Director of Operations report.
Hi, everybody. I'll get right in. So the only thing I have is the fund report, Magic Green Sheet. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. We're wrapping up our big audit with the state auditors. So we should have that fact-finding report tomorrow, I hope. What else is going on? Cash flow report, I'm working on that. So hopefully have that to you, hopefully by the 23rd meeting we have with you guys. So have that for you guys to review and ask any 24th, sorry. 24th. And then, yeah, so any questions, let me know.
Thank you.
We'd hope to have a cash flow this evening, and it just didn't happen. The State Board of Accounts kept us very busy, so.
They do not move quickly.
They've been here since October.
It's not as bad as it looks. Hold on, please. You have my deepest sympathies.
Thank you. It's just a one page.
They're already complaining.
It made it really small.
I did. Wow.
See?
Moving on to the Assistant Superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam President. Tonight I am just going to kind of give you a brief overview of something that we celebrated at our principals meeting or admin meeting last week, was our growth in terms of NWEA. And it looks like a very daunting packet, but the last 6 pages are just the information for each individual elementary school. We only give NWEA now through K through 6. We give it to our middle school students who have an IEP to monitor growth. But because they use the iLearn checkpoints, they are not doing NWEA. So we do not have any NWEA data for middle school, but we do have for K-6, and we have a lot of successes that I would like to share with the board. A lot of these reports, because they're norm reference, are somewhat difficult to understand and interpret. So the first page is really just for you to understand how it is calculated. We're looking at achievement, which is where students are performing at a specific time. So we have a fall test date and we have a winter test date. So that's the first thing we're looking at. And the second thing we're looking at is growth. So how are our students making progress from the first testing session to the second testing session in comparison to other students who started at the same point that they did in their achievement? So if you look at, we're really focused on math this time because we are in our first year of implementation district-wide with Vimy Math. So we're staying very close to the data to make sure that we are making the right instructional decisions. And you can see that when you go to the second page, we always want to make sure that the things that we're doing correspond to iLearn, because that is the state assessment, that is the summative assessment, and that's what we will start receiving our school grades on. So this little graphic just tells you how you can use the NWEA data to kind of predict or project what students will pass the iLearn assessment grades 3 through 6. Used to be, if you were at the 50th percentile, you had a decent chance of passing. If you look now, you have to be at the 70 to the 95th percentile to be passing and above passing or above proficiency. So no longer is it the I-STEP where it was the DOK 1, which was very basic recall information. It has moved to DOK 3 and 4, which is very high level complex thinking. So it's great to see our kids doing STEM. It's great to see them doing chess because it requires a lot of stamina that sometimes our kids don't have, because with technology, they can simply ask the question and they get the answer within seconds. So it's really great to see our schools focusing on that. Vimy does a great job of that as well. So if you go down to the third page, you'll see the summaries. And each summary, because I am not able to copy these graphs off of NWEA, I had to cut them out and paste them the old way. But each school I have, you can see our goal when we look at growth and achievement is we want high achievement, high growth. So if you look at this first page here, it's a quadrant. So we want all of our students to be high achievement, high growth, which is this quadrant up here.
Top right.
Top right. What I did is I took each school, gave you where each of those grade levels started in the fall. So for example, we start with Grandview, it's just the first one on the list here. In the fall, they had 3 of their 7 grade levels in the high achievement, high growth. When we tested them again in the winter after their implementation of Vimy Math, they went to 7 of 7. All 7 grade levels moved to high achievement, high growth. That is unheard of. And I've been in this position, and I was an elementary principal for 12 years, and we use NWEA, and it's very rare that you see a school get all of your grade levels in. Another thing that this graph will show you is at the top, Grandview started in the 53rd percentile. And in the winter, they moved all the way up to the 66th percentile. So you can see that they started slightly above average at the beginning of the year, but because they demonstrated such strong growth, they are well above average in the winter testing. So the next page is Eastview Elementary. Eastview, Grandview, as you know, did implement Vimy Math, piloted it last year. So they were a little bit ahead of that implementation of Vimy. So Eastview, this was their first semester of implementation of Vimy Math. They had 1 of their 7 grade levels in the high achievement, high growth. And in the winter, they've made 7 of 7. All grade levels moved from lower achievement to high achievement, high growth. As a school, they were in the 47th percentile in the fall. They moved to the 62nd percentile. So they too made very strong progress and are moving to above average achievement. The next school is Everton. Everton also this is their first year of implementation into Vimy Math. They had 4 of their 7 cohorts in high achievement, high growth. Their school was in the 49th percentile, and in the winter they had 6 of 7 in high achievement, high growth, and their school moved to the 66th percentile. So again, they were beginning at the year they were at that national average. National average is 50th percentile. I don't know if I said that. I talked NWA so much.
You were talking
sometimes I
I-Learn
forget.
and saying I-Learn used to be 50 and then I-Learn 70,
So
but
the goal is 50th percentile
Okay,
to be at the
gotcha.
national average. So they were at 49, so they started at the national average, but you can see that they exceeded that by being in the 66th percentile. The next one is Fayette Central. They had 4 of their 7 cohorts in high achievement, high growth. They started in the 51st percentile, which is pretty average there nationally. And they ended with 7 of 7 in the winter, and their school moved to the 72nd percentile. That is amazing. So their growth percentile is fabulous. So they did a nice job, and they demonstrated exceptional growth. Frazee Elementary, they had 0 out of 7 starting in high achievement, high growth. Their school started at the 42nd percentile, so you can see that they started slightly below the national average. They ended at 52nd percentile, so they bumped up to the national average, and they were able to move 5 of their 7 cohorts into high achievement, high growth. So we celebrated this at our admin meeting. I think this is a testament to the hard work that all of our teachers are doing. I also feel like it's great evidence in supporting our decision to vet and move forward for Vimy Math. And I promised you when we made that decision to move to Vimy Math that I would keep you updated with data. So this is our first set of data. Had we not had a week of snow days, I would have had I-Learn checkpoint data, but the state had to move I-Learn checkpoint 2. It doesn't close until the 13th, so I will bring that data back to you next month.
And Kim, in looking at these things, the numbers there are the grade levels, correct?
Yes, yes. That's why I had to print them out, because you can't, I'd have to put little text boxes on all of those. It was just easy for me to print them and write them. So you can see that on the little dots, I put like K, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, right.
And then the school, I'll put Eastview, Everton. And as you take it back, if you have questions, I give you very specific directions to interpret this data at a later time, because I know I cut at the end of the meeting, and usually people are very tired at that point, so. But I do want to celebrate it.
And I do want to say Kim's done a wonderful job of leading that charge, and super proud. Like it excites us so much when kids succeed and when our teachers succeed, and we're a long way from where we want to be. Man, it's awesome to see. Yeah, and that's what we want, right? Is growth, and so it's not perfect. We have work to do. We're curious to see what those 7th and 8th grade scores look like in terms of the I-Learn checkpoint, to see where we are there. But I think it does prove when the program's good and you do it with fidelity and you develop a culture of achievement. I think that's the biggest thing we've seen is that within our buildings there's that culture of like, we want to do well, we want to compete, we want to show the world what we know. It's fun. It's fun to watch. So job well done. Really proud of our people.
Yes, absolutely.
For the good of the cause. Oh, wait. Isn't he speaking? He's not on yet.
You didn't put me on the agenda.
Sorry,
Mrs.
you're
Schaefer.
not on the agenda.
Sorry, Jeremy.
Sorry, Jeremy, you're not on here. I did read your name.
You can't speak, you're all about. Yes, you go.
Yes, you can.
It's okay. I don't have to. It's really okay. Just a couple things, if I can.
But you're not here.
It's all right. We do have our natatorium ribbon cutting tomorrow night. I hope you can join us if you're able. We've got a big pair of scissors.
6:30 to.
Daryl is, as someone who's carried the load of the project, but also someone who's spent a lot of time in that pool, building a culture of winning competition. He's going to be holding the big scissors and cutting the ribbon for us tomorrow. And so it's quite an honor for him, and I think there's nobody better to do that. But we'll start that tomorrow night at 6:30. And then the open house will follow from 6:30 to 7:30. Do want to give a shout out to our girls basketball team, obviously sectional champions for the first time since 2013.
Wow.
Super job. Super excited to watch them play this weekend at LaPel. I believe 4 o'clock, is that
4
somewhere on Saturday?
o'clock against Mechaniqua.
Yeah.
That according to all people, we should beat because they do not have the horses that Delta had. If we could get by Delta, we could get, that was the stumbling block. That was the stumbling block.
Really proud of our girls, and more so than, winning's fun, but representing our corporation, our community well is really what it's all about. So really proud of them. The coaches have done a tremendous job.
I loved the sleepover in the bowl. I thought that was awesome.
That
As
was so
a past player, I was like, oh, I wish we had that opportunity. That was amazing. I loved it.
Mrs. Van Meter came to me on Saturday and goes, by the way.
I loved it. Loved it.
It's great. It's awesome. As long as we keep kids safe, I'm good with it. It's great. So wrestling, just really quickly, Breland Hausmeyer was a regional champion, went to regionals. And then Cash Boulware has a chance to compete in the semi-state this weekend in Newcastle. Big deal there. So congratulations to them. I know Ann mentioned it earlier, but I do want to give a shout out to Solo, an ensemble who I believe were all gold. And then we have several individuals who get a chance to go to the state competition on February the 21st. So shout out to those kiddos and their folks who were helping them. Career Coaching Open House, I think you guys got some information about that, is
Thursday night.
Thursday night at 7 o'clock, I believe.
5:30 to 7:30.
5:30 to 7:30.
I was way off, so thank you for that, I appreciate that. Okay, so I do want to give a shout out here really quickly to our city, our county, the state plow drivers, Daryl's team, 16 inches of snow. We got hit hard. I know most of the state did, but we took a really mean shot in terms of the week. But I will tell you that Daryl and his team, in terms of our own lots, our own drives, we could have went to school on Monday. Like they worked really hard because we didn't know. We didn't know what was going to happen yet, and so they were in on Sunday, and they were working our stuff. And Daryl sent me pictures on Monday morning, and things were clear, and which is crazy because with that much snow, that's hard to do. But we have a great partnership with our county. Chris Gettinger there is wonderful. Jeremy at the city is wonderful. Whatever we need, they help us with because the safety of our kids is first. And just want to give those guys a big shout out. So thank you for what they do. Kindergarten roundup dates we have set for April 8th and 9th. We're going to be doing a big push for that as far as advertising very soon. I know Chris and her kids are working on some things that we're going to be pushing out as far as designing some graphics and flyers. Do want to remind you of our work session on the 24th. If you show up on the 23rd at the gym, you're going to be by yourself.
We got a lot to cover.
I can play chess.
Yes.
We got to
You
learn.
can play chess.
He knows how to play.
What time is that going to be?
It'll be at the normal time, 6:30. Yeah, so those quarterly work sessions are at normal time. We will have somebody here from Commonwealth Engineering. I'm going to talk about that here shortly. To talk through a little bit of some stuff with Fayette Central's water. We're going to talk about finance, future planning, SEA 1, a lot of things in regards to that. It's going to be somewhat of a heavy meeting in regards to content, but things that we really need to talk about. And so I'm excited about that opportunity. We're meeting with Brock Bowser from Baker Tilly this week as well in preparation. And so we'll have some things for you that night. I do want to say Commonwealth Engineering, I did send you some information today. There were 2 documents. One of them essentially says we're stepping into an agreement to work with you. That's an overarching kind of umbrella contract essentially. That other more specific, I forget what they call them, work orders, task orders, I think. can be given. So the first task order I did send to you, that would allow them the opportunity, if we so choose, to essentially spell out what that project would look like. That if we're going to step into a project to try to get water to Fayette Central from the city of Connersville, they would essentially lay out the engineering part of that, the finance part of that, all of that for us. And so, so he'll be here on the 24th to talk more about that. And then subsequently, I'll bring before you, if you so choose, that's the direction you wish to go, on our March 10th meeting for approval to formally step into that relationship with him. He's already working for us, so I know Erica's been on the back end of some of that finance work and is going to attend the meeting with Jefferson Shreve. There's some funding there that's potential, and also looking at some other funding sources as well. So that work is happening. But just, if you want to take a look at those documents to see, the longer of the two, the contract document has already been vetted by our attorney. So some of that language I know sometimes gets pretty arduous to walk through, so don't feel like you have to go through that with a fine-tooth comb by any means. The other one is much shorter and essentially just spells out the terms of what we would pay them for that first phase. Okay? I do want to give a shout out to, we obviously have 2 first-year principals in the room. So it's always it's always hard when you replace veteran people, especially principals. And so obviously Brian Jennings and Mia McCreary retiring last year, you have a huge shift in leadership within buildings, and that can change culture, and that can change a lot of things. And so I do want to tell the public and tell you as a board that I'm super proud of these 2 individuals that are here with us today, who have worked really, really hard in their buildings to build a culture of achievement, of respect, of collaboration, of all the things we want from our principals. And we have not missed a beat, and I think the data would show you, obviously, that they've done some good work in terms of the academic side as well. And so we just want to say thank you. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
First year in the seat is not easy, so.
Brittany made it through a renovation, and for those of us that have been through a renovation, I would not wish that on somebody that's been there for 20 years, much less someone who walked into it mid-thing. So congratulations for surviving.
So I met with Brittany and some of our teachers this afternoon. We're working on a ribbon cutting and open house for Frazee as well.
You
that
have a
date.
date, though.
We do. Are we ready to put that date out there yet?
Go for it.
Oh, go for it.
So April remind me, the 9th?
Same days kind of
Okay.
around it.
That's not right. That's the date we talked about when we moved it.
6.
6?
We're not gonna put it
We
out
will
there
put that
yet.
date
We'll
out.
let you know in our guide. We'll wait and see. We'll wait somewhere in April, we got it.
We decided after school today, and I don't remember what it is, I don't have it with me, but we'll put that out, obviously, and advertise it just with an auditorium. So excited about that opportunity to get people in the building and see the awesome work that happened there. The work at Eastview continues as far as the planning behind the scenes. So Friday of this week, we have probably a 2 or 3 hour design meeting talking about finishes, talking about carpet, paint, all that stuff, and what that looks like. I know they've worked in detail with our special education department, with Megan Gilman and the team at Eastview to make sure that the new addition is designed to their needs. But yeah, that work continues, and we're meeting all the time on that stuff in terms of what it looks like and where we're going. So we did get some variances approved this week as well, which was good news. Yeah.
Can I make a really quick mention of something?
Please.
I have sat here and watched Mason sit through the whole meeting.
Yes.
Without a device. He has sat, he's been quiet and patient. I don't know how many kids his age could do that. I'm pretty impressed, so I just wanted to point that out. Because you guys didn't have to stay, but you did. And
I watch them anyways at home.
You know, I had somebody tell me once it's better than watching whatever Monday night football. It's like, okay, well, kudos to you. But I did want to point that out because it's rare to have a child his age sit and
Have a child any age sit.
True.
He'll probably ask me questions when we get in the car.
I love that.
Okay.
right,
On
just
our
let it-
work session in 2 weeks, are we going to get any information from Lauren Starr also?
Yeah, that was the plan. I haven't talked to Lauren in a couple days. I need to touch base with her. I'm a little worried about margin during that meeting, so I'm hopeful that we'll have time, but I also don't want to keep you here for 3 hours.
Okay.
So I'm working on getting that agenda to settle. But things keep, like Commonwealth Engineering was an addition that we made yesterday. And so those types of things, as we add them, I'm just worried about time.
Well, I see Lauren frequently because I walk past her house and she says, oh, I've really got a lot of really good stuff. I said, we're very anxious to hear it, so.
I know, yes, there's a way, I think we can do both, I do.
Okay,
I think
cool.
And they vary, of course, right?
Right.
Yeah, because the operations side is a big part of what you as a board support in regards to that strategic plan, so, yeah.
Yeah, and the information that she got is just really so vital in how we're going to move forward with anything.
Yeah, she had a chance to meet with our directional team during our professional development day in the month of January, and yeah,
Yeah,
it's
she
good.
said she had it, and it was very productive.
Yeah, it's
so,
good.
Yeah.
For the good of the cause.
Go Lady Spartans.
Absolutely. Excited.
All right. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? May I have a second? Any discussion over this? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
I guess we'll see.
7:10.